Hey everybody, I'm Joe. We're talking about Marvel Multiverse and we're going to do our module review for the Cataclysm of Kang. Here we go. I meant to get this video out a little bit earlier, but I got sick and lost my voice, so this is the earliest I was able to get this review out. My apologies, but we're going to talk about the Cataclysm of Kang. We're going to talk about what it's like to run it as a player and what it's like to run it as a narrator, some pros and cons, and some thoughts about whether or not it's going to be right for you and the game you are looking for. We're going to start with a section for players without spoilers. And so if you are looking at playing in this game, you can watch the first portion of this video without worries that you're going to ruin part of the adventure. And the second portion is going to be for narrators, where I will feel free to discuss certain aspects of the plot, but I will give fair warning to players to make sure that you know to turn off the video at that halfway point. So anyway, here we go. Cataclysm of Kang is a game that runs from rank 1 all the way through rank 6. It's designed for 4 or 5 players, and it really does follow the entire hero's journey. But what I mean by this is that the description of the rank of characters in the playtest document and then the core rulebook really does say that we expect a rank 1 hero to be an origin story, a rank 2 hero is going to defend a neighborhood, a rank 3 hero is going to defend a city, a rank 4 hero defends a country, a rank 5 hero defends a planet, and a rank 6 hero is going to defend the multiverse. And that is exactly the structure of Cataclysm of Kang. So if you want to have that experience of going from a local hero to a wide-flung adventure, there is a lot here for you. The way I would describe the plot to a player that would give you a sense of what it's like without giving you a sense of exactly what you're doing would be that you are a local hero at the beginning of this story who discovers a problem that has far-reaching implications. Over the course of digging deeper into an issue that is actually evolving over time and getting worse over time, you will need to defend a larger area. Eventually, you will need to actually do some travel to alternative Earths and eventually travel through time. So there really is a Marvel multiverse hopping nature to the game. It should be of no surprise, of course, that at the end of the adventure, you're going to come into conflict with Kang. It's in the title, you knew it was coming, and it's a pretty epic battle that happens at the end of the adventure. Moreover, the big problem I had with the first module, which was Enter Hydra, I didn't like how it was all combat oriented. It felt like an adventure that was there to really to teach you how to run combat in Marvel Multiverse, and strategies to avoid combat or infiltrate or to do some kinds of social interactions really didn't exist. The best part of Cataclysm of Kang from a player and actually I think from a narrator point of view is that this game absolutely does engage in all pillars of play. It's a little bit more heavy on investigation than it is on social encounters, but social interaction is absolutely a part of it. Being able to investigate and gather data is a huge part of trying to prepare for success inside of this game. Not only that, but you will have the opportunity to really prepare how you want to engage with the problem and the order in which you want to engage. Each one of the adventures, and this game is broken up into 6 different miniature adventures, 1 per rank. Each one has very much a sandbox feel to it. Some a little bit more than others. But overall, not only can you spend time really understanding the nature of the problem, investigating where you're going and preparing for it, but the game assumes at certain portions that you have done that in order to prepare you for success. And there is every possibility, as there should be in a good game, of you failing if you did not prepare yourselves adequately. Now, don't worry, one other really good part of this game is it gives narrators a ton of flexibility in how to deal with whether or not the heroes failed or succeeded at pivotal plot moments. And so you could run Cataclysm of Kang multiple times and have totally different adventures because of the decisions the players make and their success or failure at inflection points. This has also some amazing characters spread throughout Marvel's history that you will run into in different guises and in different ways. And there's a lot of TTRPG name dropping that kind of happens throughout the adventure. This is a really fun adventure. There are moments that are incredible world building, some moments with really some great exploration. There are some moments that are a little bit more linear in their storytelling. So not every one of the ranks is as sandboxy as others, but overall, this is a game that really encourages any style of build, any way that you want to engage with the different pillars of play, and will reward learning information, taking the world seriously, investigating, and of course, having a nice amount of chunky combat. For players, I think this is a really good adventure to really cut your teeth on this game, and Rank 1 does assume that the players are playing Marvel Multiverse for the first time and introduces them to the game system in a really convenient way. So don't be afraid if Cataclysm of Kang is your first game that you're actually joining in Marvel Multiverse. So yes, for players, this is a really fun game. You can explore a really incredible and rich world. There's lots of characters to interact with, and every different style of building a character is absolutely viable inside of this game. And even though it does specifically advertise traveling through dimensions and time, you do not need to build a character that has those powers in order to be successful in the game. I think you'll enjoy it, and I would recommend it 100%. That is the end of the portion where I am speaking to players. I'm going to say now, thank you for joining me. I hope to see you around here again, but for the players from this point on, please be warned, we will be discussing the plot elements as I speak to narrators. All right, let's check. Are they all gone? Yeah. For us narrators, I really like this game. I think there's a lot of exciting stuff here. I think I would have a blast running it. I think my players would really enjoy getting themselves involved in this game. It is a rank 1 through 6 game. You can take one character and rank them up all the way through 6, or you could actually play different heroes at every rank. And that means that however you envision a superhero story, it will work, which is great. I would lean in heavily to the fact that at multiple ranks, particularly mid-game from about 2 through 4, you have a lot of opportunity for infiltration, for stealth, and investigation. And I would reward players heavily for engaging in that part, particularly when your players are trying to make their way to the convention center at the end of rank 2, or when they finally get to the alternate Earth in rank 4. Each one of these moments is an open world exploration, and they're some of my favorite parts of the game. If you are a narrator looking at running this game, but you don't really know any of the plot, you haven't picked up the book, let me tell you a little bit about what's going on. There is an alternate Earth, and in this alternate Earth, Hydra has taken over the United States. But they are facing an existential threat. Kang the Devourer, who devours whole timelines, is coming for their reality. And in order to save their own lives, they are developing portals to be able to cross over into another reality, namely your Earth. Our players at rank 1 discover one of these smaller portal devices inside of Hell's Kitchen. They find it, they shut it down, only to realize that this is a much larger problem than at first they thought. And there is a wonderful sequence of events from ranks 2 through 4 as more Hydra agents pour into New York, as they initially come in the guise of an official military force, but then they clamp down on the state of New York under a martial rule of law. Our heroes need to stealth around inside of New York, make their way past checkpoints, need to be able to dodge guards, and eventually be able to attack the convention center in Hell's Kitchen, where the main portal exists. One thing that's really great is the end of rank 2 specifically allows for and actually expects your players to fail in their mission. It's kind of anticipated, and that's wonderful. Allowing for failure and continuing the game is a wonderful story moment. And I wish more games did this, that it's not always, here's the next roadblock, your characters have to beat it or die. No, here it is if they succeed, it goes this way. If it fails, they go this way. Wonderful. There are 2 moments of great exploration, as I mentioned. When chaos is breaking out inside of New York in rank 2, and the heroes realize they need to make their way to the convention center, dodging as many of the Hydra operatives as possible. And secondly, at rank 4, when they get to the alternate Earth, they go there to destroy the portal generating capacity of Hydra. It is an open world New York where Hydra is in charge and they don't know anybody. The exploration is rich and wonderful, and I think you'll have a blast running that. Ranks 1 through 4, I think, are really good. Rank 1 is pretty linear, but it's there to assist your players. Rank 4, the transition from 3 to 4 is actually quite clunky. It doesn't work all that well, but as soon as you get into the plot, you're going to be fine. After rank 4, the plotting of this adventure falls off a cliff. Rank 5 feels very convoluted and strange, and rank 6 just doesn't seem to really know exactly how to allow rank 6 characters to deal with a problem. I would be far more open-ended in rank 6, where they're supposed to go to Doctor Doom and defeat some bots and get a time travel device. Go to the end of time only to realize, oops, that's a mistake. You're supposed to go to the beginning of time. All of that is very clunky. Let rank 6 heroes use the contacts that they have made and figure out their own plan. These are rank 6 heroes. They can defend the multiverse. They will find a solution. More on that point. By the way, if you're running this, there's a list in rank 6 of all of the different ways that people have been developing time travel technology that your players could utilize. You need to take that list and you need to actually drop that as lore much earlier in the game. If you give it to them at rank 6, it's very much Deus Ex Machina. If you give that to them at rank 2, it's going to feel like, hey, I remember that thing the narrator said, and they're going to use it and they're going to feel much better about the decision. So that list, you need to read ahead, drop that in earlier. But the big downside of Cataclysm of Kang, the biggest negative, is the maps. Oh my God. The maps are terrible. There are too few of them, and the ones that there are so sparse. They're atrocious. The hardest thing you'll have to do running this game is making your maps. I'm not making this up. There is a battle in rank 2 where there is a collapsed entrance to a tunnel. There's water pouring into the tunnel and people might be drowning inside, and there's a villain on the outside. It's a great environment for a battle. There's no map. There's a burning building in rank 2, no map. There's a moment when you have to do a fight in an airport, no map. There is a wonderful sequence, possibly at the beginning of rank 3, where you need to break out of a detention center, no map. And the ones that there are just so sparse. This is really bad art design from Marvel, and it's the first time that we've had bad art design because the actual artistry that we've had of the character designs and the icons and other flavor inside of the books has been wonderful. The maps are awful. You will need to spend a significant amount of time on them. In rank 5, your players are supposed to go to the moon and find a city there, and then realize that Kang the Conqueror, not the Kang the Devourer, has taken over. They're supposed to travel back in time to ancient Egypt and destroy an artifact, and then travel to the future again in order to defeat him. It's a little bit convoluted, just me explaining it. Trying to get it to make sense to players feels really tricky. You're going to have a hard time actually making this part of the plotting work. So think about that way in advance. So yeah, the end of this adventure, you could allow it to be way more open, breathe a lot more, But getting to the moon, getting back in time, being able to find Kang the Devourer at the beginning of time, very, very cool moment. But the plotting is all over the place. It is not nearly as solid and streamlined and open for exploration the way that the first several ranks are. So it's a really good adventure. I think you'll have a blast running it, but you're gonna have to put in a lot of work on maps and planning for those end ranks. It's really rough. I gave Enter Hydra a B, and this is better than Enter Hydra. I love the open, I think ranks 2 and 4 are the best designed of the entire series. If you just ran this from ranks 1 through 4, it'd be a really good campaign. I like that they wanted to do rank 1 through 6, but it's a little bit clunky. I have to give this an A-. I think it's a good adventure, and I think that there's a lot of good stuff to be done ranks 5 and 6, but that area is a fixer-upper. It really is. Overall workload is actually medium to high because of the maps that you need to do and how difficult it is to plot and thread the needle of ranks 5 and 6. The difficulty is in the medium category. There are some fights here that are really hard. The penultimate fight at the end of rank 5 is really hard, and the last fight with Kang the Devourer is actually difficult to quantify. It's difficult to quantify because there's no stat block for Kang the Devourer. He is considered to be a rank X character above rank 6, which is appropriate, but no stat block is provided. You're just supposed to figure it out or use the Deus Ex Machina device, which is called the Ultimate Nullifier. The Ultimate Nullifier is a device that is supposed to just be able to insta-kill Kang, but also kill whoever uses it. I wish there were other ways around this or to engage in it as a more direct fight and let the chips fall where they may. Giving this kind of insta-kill device to the players, I think is going to feel like a letdown, and I think that that last battle needs to be reworked a little bit in order to feel more satisfying. But it is an A-. I do like this particular adventure. I'm looking forward to running it for some players. If you have started to run this, I would love to hear about how it's going and the moments that have been exciting in the comments below. Just make sure not to put in anything that would spoil any plot for players who might take a look at it. All right, that is the video for the week. Thank you for joining me. YouTube's literally made out of buttons. I hope you press some of them. I'll see you next time. All right, peace.